Hello travelers, Boardman21 here, and today I'm going to give you the top 5 arena pushing builds, excluding Acolyte zombies. We're just not going to put those in because they're bugged, but these are the top 5 arena pushers in the game right now, and at 1.0 we will update it to reflect the new masteries being put into the game. But first off, we're going to start off with LizardIRL's Lightning Swipe Werebear, and this thing is a powerhouse. It has pretty mediocre average to slightly higher than average damage, but it's where the tankiness comes in that really allows you to push the arena. And here you can see it in 900 waves, absolutely able to just face tank a lot of the mobs. You have a lot of leech damage reduction, you're proccing other things like Maelstrom that's giving you extra dodge, you have a lot of leech coming in, you're swiping and attacking very fast. Maul's got a nice AoE that's using the Fury Leap tree, and there's just a lot of synergies going on and a lot of tankiness in this build that allows you to push really high. And again, the links for all these builds will be in the description below. So let's go ahead and dive into build number 2. Coming in at number 2, we have Bina's Frostclaw Frostbite Runemaster, and it should come no surprise that a newer mastery is at the top of the list, and that's just because it's more updated than the rest. But this one is godly, and this one's going to use Frostclaw to shoot out multiple projectiles, all of which can hit the same target. They all have a chance to proc Elemental Nova, both of which are going to be cold, applying Frostbite, have a high chance to freeze enemies, and since you can freeze enemies, frozen enemies don't have a chance to attack you, and all the while you're generating tons and tons of ward with this build, which just allows it to push really high in the arena with all the synergies that you got going on. And once again, in the description below you will find the link to this build. Alright, for number 3, we have one of Volca's builds, and this is the Nova Hammerdin. Now this is going to use the hammer skill ability, which I love, and there's tons of ways to build it. You can have them spiral around you, you can just have them be thrown in a direction, but in this case we are throwing them in a Nova with extra projectiles. So you're going to be able to shoot out 8 hammers at a time. You can have incredible cast speed, especially when it's buffed by Smite giving you attack speed, Volatile Reversal giving you attack speed. Tons of ways to get a ton of extra attack speed, which allows you just to shoot out a massive amount of hammers. Now, the main thing that's really going to keep you alive in the build is that it's so ranged. You can literally shoot hammers out in all directions and hit enemies basically at the edge of the screen, which allows you to kill them before they even get a chance to kill you. You'll obviously also have a ton of leech, and pushing in the arena, which is not in this gameplay itself, you're going to want to run Rebuke instead of Volatile Reversal just for a bit of extra tankiness. With that in mind, out of all the arena pushers, this is probably my favorite one, just because of the nostalgia of playing D2 hammers back in the day. But for this, I just love how good it feels to run and have so many hammers flying out. It's just so many projectiles, they hit so hard, it just feels really good. I definitely recommend trying this build even if you don't plan on pushing arena, just because of how powerful it can be, and it doesn't take a whole lot to get going due to all the recent improvements and implementations of added throwing damage that they've allowed you to get on multiple pieces of gear now, allowing you to scale the damage much easier. With that in mind, let's go ahead and head over to number 4. Coming in at number 4, we have the Death Seal Lich, and this one's very tanky for one solid reason. That's because you basically get a free life with it. Every time that you go into Reaper form, if you take all of your health as damage, it just knocks you out of Reaper form and puts you back into Lich. Now, there's a downside, you will be degenning life the whole time, but with enough leech, you'll be constantly full, and in the arena when you always have enemies coming at you, it's very easy to stay full health because of all of that leech. That class has a lot of leech in it. Now, the main damaging skills in this one is going to be Death Seal, which you seal your life either low or whatever it's at when you start it, and then you get damage based on how much life that you're missing, and then it does big waves with Death Wave around you, hitting enemies for big damage. You'll be buffing that damage with Bone Curse and Rip Blood, and then of course you'll have Reap and Transplant to move around very fast. So this is a good speed runner, but it's also very tanky because of that free life, allowing you to push high in the arena. This is another build brought to you by LizardIRL, and again, the link is below. Now, let's move on to number 5 and our last one on this arena build list. Coming in at number 5, we have the Fire Wraiths Necromancer, and this is another very strong one because of the ward you can get from the zombies on use, but also because your Flame Wraiths have such great distance that they can kill a lot of things off the screen before they even have a chance to attack you. You also have just a ton of leech and unlimited mana in this build, which allows you to always be spamming minions, which will proc a lot of ward, both on your mana cost for casting them and on their death, and then 2, leeching all of that health for all the minions inside of that drain life is going to keep your life completely full for when you do take a hit. So this is a very, very powerful build. It does a ton of damage, and for the arena, it's really kind of made for it because you can keep all your minions just kind of sitting in a group around you while you're constantly leeching from them. You don't have to worry about moving and relocating them, and that just allows you to get really far in the arena and just absolutely annihilate the enemies because those fire rays attack really quick, really hard, and have really good range. But that's going to be it for the top 5 arena pushing builds. Tomorrow and the next day I have 2 more top 5s I'd like to put out. We have speedrunning echoes that I'd like to get in there for speed farming, and then of course we'll have one for bossing that's specifically meant for just taking bosses down as easily and quickly as possible. So make sure to tune in for those. As always, stay safe guys, and have a good one.